And we are live. So, good afternoon, good afternoon, y'all. It has been a good minute since I have done an author spotlight interview. And it's been so long. It's been so long that shoot, we was in the back chatting it up with the author, and I almost forgot to get on here and go live. Crazy, right? So, welcome, welcome. I hope you are joining us from the, well, obviously, you are joining us from the Books to Business group. And my name is Angela M. Mitchell, and I am the Director of Marketing and Social Media here at Victorious You Press. And I am so excited. Like I said, it's been a while. Since I've done an author spotlight interview. I love doing them. I love kicking it with the authors and seeing what they have going on. And so I'm excited today to talk to Miss Lynette Bradshaw. Lynette M. Bradshaw. And she has some exciting things to talk about her book project that's coming up. And so we're going to get right into it. I'm going to bring her up and we're going to get into it, y'all.
Hello.
There she is. Welcome, 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 Lynette. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people before we get into this good conversation here.
All right. Well, I'm Lynette M. Bradshaw. I've been an author since 2014. I published my first book. As of next month, I'll be publishing my 8th book. And one of the things that I am really passionate about, even in my writing, is helping women to heal their heart and transform their lives. And now I'm at a stage where I'm wanting to also help them to transform their story into a masterpiece.
I like that. I like that. It's and you know, we women need it, man. We need the support, from each other. We need to be able to share with each other and uplift each other and hold each other up. So I think that is an excellent, it's an excellent premise. A lot of times we don't get the support that we need, right? And especially the support from each other. And so I think that is extremely important that we support each other. And so that's why we're here, right? So I'm going to say, share this broadcast out, y'all. Share, bring your people in, pull up a seat, and let's get into it and kick it with me and Lynette, right? So tell me, how did you get connected to Victorious You Press? How did that happen?
Well, I think it was back in 2018, 2019, Joan and I were a part of an anthology called Soulful Prayers. So being connected with her on that and going back and forth, all of us were engaging with one another, following her on social media. I've taken some of her classes. And so I've just stayed connected. She's been a very big help to me in different, other aspects of my business. And so I love Joan. First of all, I love her accent. I follow the accent. Jamaican and New Orleans, those are my accents, so I can listen to her anytime.
I love it. And it's funny when she get into it and it get thick, you be like, wait a minute, what did you say? What you say? I don't know what you say.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So let's get into the story. What is the title of your book?
It's called Dear Me, I See You. It's a collaboration of intimate letters from a woman's heart to the little girl within.
Ooh, now that sounds good. That sounds good. I know a lot of times, man, we need to go back, right? We need to go back and meet ourselves where pain had us, right? Go back to that part. So what inspired you, before we get to this part though, what inspired you to become a writer in the first place?
I've always been a writer. I'll just say this, God anointed me as a scribe before I even wrote my first book. And I wrote my first book coming out of a 19-and-a-half-year marriage and divorce. And I just wanted to write. I was writing my thoughts out. I was writing what God was showing me, revealing to me as I was going through that process about myself, never knowing that it would become a book. My first book was actually the journey to me, because I realized coming through that process that I never really knew me. I allowed other people to identify who I was. I allowed my pain to tell me who I was. So I was actually on a journey because I needed to know who Lynette was. And writing that book birthed more books, of course, but it also birthed my passion to help other women to not endure what I've gone through as long as I did. And sometimes it takes somebody to stand up and say, nope, that's not it. Yes, you can't blame the other person all the time. We got to face us ourselves. We got to look at ourselves. So that's how the whole process started with me writing.
Wow. And I think that the world is happy. Whoever has read your book, you know what I mean, has gotten that from you. And as far as like your writing process, what is that like?
My writing process is when I feel the unction on my heart to write, I write. When I feel like the grace has passed, I stop writing. I never have written down like an outline. That doesn't work for me. I know what I'm going to talk about, and I write until I feel like I've done everything on that chapter, and then I go back later when it comes back. I've learned to record what I'm wanting to say in my phone or on using other systems to record it. And when I'm all done, then I go back and I have it transcribed and I write it from there.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Right. So this project, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. How did you come up with Dear Me, I See You? How did you come up with that? Just not necessarily the title, but like the theme. How, you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, I've done this process before where I've written letters to myself, depending on where I am in life. And in 2020, August of 2020, God said it was time for me to leave my job. So that time was scary because I didn't have another job and I didn't know what was going on. And so from August 2020 to November 2023, I went through my own Dear Me process where he was showing me the different parts of my heart that were still stuck in the place where it was hurt. That even though I had gone through different stages of healing, he took me into a deeper layer. And the vision that he gave me was me being a little girl in a dark closet with my knees up to my chest and just hidden. So he took me to a journey where I addressed the different parts of my heart that were locked away, that were silent, that was dormant, and allowed me to speak to that part of myself. Because he was showing me we have to go back and get that part of ourselves and bring ourselves to where we are in order for us to go forward. Yes. So I wrote all those letters to myself, not knowing that it would go any further than that. And then as I kept writing, I knew it would be a book, but I thought it was just a book for me. So God connected my desire to help women change their story into a masterpiece and my desire to write this book. And that's how an anthology was birthed.
Man, so the women that joined your anthology, like what was that process like? What type of women, not necessarily what type of women, you know what I mean, but who were you looking for? Because when you're looking and you're doing an anthology, you have like an ideal person in mind who you want to join you. You know what I mean? So how did that go?
That process was about connecting with women who were ready to be transparent with themselves. Because we all know that when we go through life, we sometimes hide based on what we've experienced. We want to heal, but we don't want to be transparent. We don't want to be vulnerable, even if that means with ourselves. So that was something that was very important to me. And no matter what stage of your healing, your growth, your transformational life is, there's always more. So I needed women who were going to go a little deeper than, just surface level. And I'll also say this, when I first started, putting the word out that I was looking for authors, nobody was responding. Of course, I got some congratulations and I appreciate that, but no one, as far as being a part of the project, was responding. None of that happened until November of last year when God took me through this process of telling me to call my mom. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I was really in a dark place, a low place. I needed her, but we didn't have that type of relationship. Right. So I was sitting on the couch and he said, call your mom and tell her you need her. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I didn't want to be this. I'm just going to be 100 with you. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be disappointed. We didn't have that connection. But I will
Right.
tell you that when I did that, not only did he bring a healing in me, but he brought a healing in her, because in that moment of obedience, I forgave her totally and completely for the first time at 55 years
Mhm.
old. And it
Come
was
on.
only when I did that and received, because my heart didn't feel her. It was
Right.
blocked away. Her praise, her admiration, none of it got in until
Right.
I forgave her in that moment. And when I forgave her in that moment, that's when the women started to come.
Come on now. Come on now. And we get stuck in our own stuff, don't we? We get stuck in it
Right.
like I ain't doing this and I ain't doing that. But that just shows that obedience, man.
Yes.
And being in that space is gonna bring you the abundance that you're looking for and bring you the people that you're
Yes.
looking for, right?
Yes.
Bring you the
Uh-huh.
people. Let me welcome Lori Sullivan. She said this is so good. Let me put these I like to put them on the screen so we can know what the people are saying. Thank you, Lori. Thank you,
Hey,
thank you,
Lori.
thank you. Yes, but in your obedience, you know what I mean? That's when it comes, right? That's when stuff really starts to unfold for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you said, of course, who the book is for. You said a little bit about that, but what
Mm-hmm.
will they get from them? You know what I mean? We know who it's for. We know we want women, and we want the healing, but what else? What do you think they will get from reading this book?
The biggest thing for me in everything I write is that when the woman or the girl, because I believe this book is for girls too, like maybe
Yeah.
teenagers, is that they first see that I'm not alone. And the second thing is that I'm not crazy, you
Yes,
know,
yes,
because sometimes we can run away from ourselves for so long that we begin to think that didn't really happen.
hmm
Happen, and it's going to give them the courage to turn to themselves, not in a judgmental place, but a place of
Right.
grace, and a place of saying, I am declaring to myself from myself that I am worthy of being greater, I'm worthy of being healed, and I'm worthy of not carrying this stuff, this pain, this trauma for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
It stops here. And whenever we see someone else doing something, sometimes that's what we need to activate that courage inside of ourselves,
Right.
because these letters show transparency. They show how we felt in those moments. And the
Mm.
little girl doesn't necessarily have to be like the little girl that I saw in myself hidden in the closet. She could be the
Mhm.
woman who was 24 going through a divorce or going through some type of sexual trauma, a mental trauma. Is going back to where you were, that place you walked away from in order to
Mhm.
survive, and
Mhm.
taking her hand and giving her grace and loving on her and identifying with her that I see you. I know what you're feeling. I know what you were feeling in that moment. I know what you needed in that moment. And take her hand and let her know we can be one. But we're going to have to go through this process. We're going to go through these steps so you can get where I am, so we can move together. There's no more division. She's going to be able to say, I can do this for me. I can
Mhm.
I can go back to that place, not in shame. Even though shame may be there, we can deal with the shame, we can deal with the embarrassment, we can deal with the disappointment, we can honor who we were in that moment. Because
Right.
that's the thing, honoring who we were in the moment instead of looking at her as she's this nasty person. You know,
Mhm.
she's the woman with the issue and she has to stand away from me, because if she stands next to me, then somebody may be saying that I'm not all put together as I'm wanting them to see.
Right. Right. And we definitely, we do that.
Yeah.
We do that. Yes, we do.
Yes.
So women in the anthology, how many women do you have with you?
I have a total of four.
Okay.
And what I love, one of the things I love about it is that three of them are first time authors.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So they get the entire experience, and that's amazing, in itself.
Yes.
Wow. And what are their names? Let's hear some names. Shout them
We,
out.
we have Kimberly. Oh, that's what they say, when you start calling names, you're gonna forget somebody. Kimberly.
I'm gonna count.
Kimberly. We have Kimberly Norris. We have Tracy Demus Gamble. We have Tondalea Jackson, and we have Alana Watkins. And
Mm,
Alana is my editor, and she's also, we grew up in the same city.
okay.
Yes, so that's really special to me that they would trust me to walk this process with me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. And especially the first time author thing. You know what I mean? The entire experience is it's like an amazing experience, especially if
Yeah.
you've never gone through this process and just getting your words out there. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
letting people read your story. That's scary in itself. And you know
Right.
what I mean? I can say that because I did it. You know what I mean? And participate in the anthology, and it was scary. And so I commend them and I commend you, you know, for just being vulnerable and sharing those dark parts. You know what I mean? That nobody really likes to talk about. We love to sweep stuff under the rug. We love to do the strong black woman thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we're hurting and we're dying on the inside. And I think it's important, like you said, to write that letter and go back to where that pain is. You know what I mean? And address it, identify it, address it, and move forward. You know.
Right.
Wait a minute, I got
I
another
think
pen.
that many of us have grown up in households where there were a lot of family secrets. Some
Hmm.
some of those secrets for myself I didn't hear until the one of the people passed away.
Yeah.
I made a decision years ago that I was going to be the generational curse breaker in my family for my boys at the time. And then when I had a daughter, I was just like, I really got to dig into me. And I
Hmm.
feel like I've been on that journey since I've said it, but it's been worth it because in
Right.
order to break up the ground that we're used to standing on, somebody has to be courageous enough to say, no, I'm putting my foot down. This is not going with me. This is not who
That's
I
right.
am. This is
That's
not how I'm
right.
going to identify myself. I'm going to go back and deal with the family members who molested me. I'm going to go back and deal with the mother or the father who abused me or abandoned me or neglected me and
Mhm.
thought it was okay to just tell me, well, you didn't die, right? We
Right.
have to be the ones to say that ends with me. And
That's
when
right.
we can write our story, it's taking back our power, and it's going through the process of saying, they may judge me like because of what I wrote. My family may not want me to share this, but this is my
Mhm.
story.
That's
If you
right.
didn't want me to write it, you should not have been a part of the story.
That's right. That's right, though. That's absolutely right. The people in our story try to control the narrative of how we share our story sometimes. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to be looked at as the villain, but it's not about that, man. It's about healing yourself. You know what
Right,
I mean? Whatever it was is a part of what makes you who you are and what brought you to this point as a woman. You
right.
know, and what you know, we are just so strong. We so strong to our detriment sometimes. You
That's
know,
exhausting.
it is. It
It's
is
very
extreme, and that's
exhausting.
why we break down a lot of times with anxiety, with depression. You know what I mean? Eating disorders. You know, we dishonor ourselves. We dishonor our bodies a lot of times because, man, we trying to hold up everything. You know, we trying to hold up everything and hold in everything too. You know.
That's true. That's true. When I went through my divorce, people were telling me that, even people close to me, well, y'all have been together for so long, y'all look this, you look that. I'm like, okay. Then it was,
Hmm.
but what about the kids? The
Hmm.
kids don't deserve this, and the kids. I had to get to a place of being angry to say I'm not explaining to
That's right.
anybody else that I'm putting myself first. And to say that, your children are going to be hurt. Exactly. They're going to be hurt because they're human and they have
Hmm.
feelings. But I can't keep living a life that I think the world wants me to live just so
That's
we
right.
can have this unit. But I'm telling my children I love them, but I'm showing them this dysfunctional type of love. I'm
Hmm.
calling it love. It's dysfunction, it's toxicity, is not seeing yourself as worthy for more. You're just taking what people give you and say,
Right.
okay, that's good. That's all I'm worthy of.
Yep.
So it's coming to that place of saying, I owe no one else but myself an apology
That's
or
right.
permission to change my life.
That's right. That's right. And I love it, the permission part. I don't have to ask your permission, to heal myself.
Right.
Because that's what it is. What good are they always say your kids gonna be hurt and this one gonna be hurt. Well, they're hurting now.
Right.
If you're not right and you're not whole, you can't give them, the proper love and care that they need. So they're hurting anyway. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think
So
those are, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no,
off.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I have found for myself that those are little sly ways of manipulation, because if people can keep us where they see us, then that makes them feel good.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
it's like, well, why should you do this, or why should you change this, or why should you write a book? It's better for me for you to stay where I see you, even if that's beneath them, even
That's
if
it.
that's you broken, even if that's you not being able to get over or get through depression or anxiety or anything else that is a dis-ease in your body. It's
That's
okay
right.
as long as they are
You're
comfortable.
comfortable.
And
Yes.
I found for me, depression was my anger, my pain turned inward. All the
Mhm.
shame turned inward. And it creates this darkness inside because you're trying to pack all this stuff down, but there is so much light on the inside of us. So it's a conflict. So if they want you to stay where they've seen you and where they've known you so that they can stay with you, I have to ask you, are you willing to risk coming into your truth, activating your own truth, and be free from that? Or do you just want to stay in that situation just to be
And that's it.
comfortable?
And
And it's
that's it.
not worth it anymore.
It's
Time
not.
is going. I'm turning 56 on Tuesday. I don't get to go back. I have less in front than I have behind
That's
me.
right, man.
It's time to make a decision.
That's
It's
it.
time to make a
That's it.
decision.
And stop living, and I say this all the time, stop living like you have time, because we don't. You know what I
Right,
mean? We
right.
don't have time to decide or to discuss or, worry about what other people are thinking or what they saying or what they doing or what they, you know what I mean? What do you think about me? Who cares? You know
Right.
what I mean? Because it's your time here and you're supposed to make the most of the time that you have. And why live in misery? You know what I mean? Why live in misery? Because it's a miserable existence when you are unhappy, when you are depressed, and you try to hold every doggone body else up and you can't even hold yourself up, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So pre-sale, pre-sale,
Yes.
pre-sale. Yeah. What's up with that? What's up?
Well, we are currently in pre-sales now. We are pushing toward the book launch coming soon, but right now we are doing pre-sales. And for me, I have, for every pre-sale order, then I have a 20-page printable journal for the person who does pre-sales, just for their support, because I wanted to give them something just to say thank you for supporting the project during pre-sales.
Yeah. Okay. So how do they get a hold of, how do they do it? What's the cost of the book and all of that? Let them know that.
The book is $21, and that includes the shipping and handling. And they can go to my website at www.restoreherworth.com. And there's also a link that's going across the bottom
Yep.
of the screen. They can click on it there.
Yes. And y'all got to get this book. I got to get this book. I got to get this book, man. Oh my goodness. I know this is going to be an amazing, amazing process, project. I know it is. I don't know, just listening to it, I feel your passion. I feel, that you really are passionate about this. It's a lot of people that talk the talk, but don't really walk the walk, and you're walking it.
Thank
And
you.
I salute you and I appreciate you, sister. And I can't wait to get a hold of this book. Right.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can't wait to get a hold of it. So, y'all, we were talking with Miss Lynette M. Bradshaw. I'm gonna give you just one more chance to just shout it out, where they can find you, where they can follow you, how they can get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, on Facebook, I have two pages, one profile and a business page, and they're both under Lynette M. Bradshaw. And you can also follow me on YouTube at Lynette M. Bradshaw.
Okay, well, she at Lynette M. Bradshaw, y'all. That's
Yes.
where she's at, and that's where you can find her. And so I want to thank you for joining us. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get a hold of this project. And thank you for joining us. Can you put the website in the comments? Lori, I cannot put the website in the comments. I was trying to put it in there. You're going to have to go. It won't let me do it because it's a private, because it's a group. So sometimes, StreamYard be tripping. I don't know. But you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, it won't let me do it, but you can probably do it after the broadcast, Lori. So we'll put it in the comments after the broadcast. Make sure you go and follow her, like, share, push this broadcast out, bring your people, and let's support and let's go get this book on the bestseller list where it's going. right?
Yes.
All right. And I'm so glad you were here. I thank you and appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
All right. And that was that. I'm going to take you off here because, I'm real good for saying I appreciate you joining and I take people off real quick. They'll be like, well, dang, you just going to kick me off the broadcast. So thank you. Look, I ain't going to do it all fast like you be in the middle. They be like, well, dang, she just put me in the back. My goodness. All right, sister. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Yeah, so that was really awesome, y'all. That was really, really awesome. I am very excited about this project for her. Again, dear me, I see you. The ticker is going across. The link is going across in the ticker. Get the book, and you'll get a gift, right? For the pre-sale period. And if you are an author, a business owner, but author, you know what I mean? And we really want to talk to you. Do you have a project coming up? Do you have a book that's already out? What do you have going on? So we really want to talk to you. I would love to interview you here on the Author Spotlight and hear about your project and see what's going on. Also, don't forget, we have the Power of the Pen coming up in November, the writing retreat. You can go to victoriashoepress.com and check that out on the events page. We also have a masterclass coming up on August 19th with myself and Joan, and we are going to get into author and brand marketing. How can you get your book in front of the most people? How can you increase your sales and all of that stuff? $27 is the amount of that. I believe there's an event posted here in the group. If it's not, I'll post it there, right? So we really want to see you guys come out. And don't forget also, August 11th, I will be interviewing Joan T. Randall, the CEO here, back to her, of Victoria Shoe Press. And we got some exciting things coming up that we want to share with y'all. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to join us. Lori, thank you for being on with us. And until next time, I'll see you guys next time. And y'all have a good day.